It was October of 2004, and there I was, first day heading into a new megachurch with a 1-year-old on one hip and a 3-year-old by the hand, heading into the new member welcome lunch. I scanned the room, and it was packed. And just as I was about ready to throw in the towel, my eyes met up with another young mom who motioned that there were 2 seats at her table. With a sigh of relief, I headed her way. Mariette and I quickly became very close friends. It was a friendship that started really under extreme circumstances, in that her special needs child and my mom were both ill. And these hardships really allowed our friendship to skip the mundane dealings of everyday life and really go deep fast. In fact, just 6 months into our friendship, she gave me a call. She was down at shop, her husband was out of town, and things were getting serious with Alicia. Would I join her? And as I walked into that shop lobby, even then, she greeted me with her warmness and made it about me. How was my drive to Philadelphia? How was my mom doing? And as we walked up to the ICU where Alicia was, I got to witness the loving mom that I had come to know. As she updated me on Alicia's condition and crawled into bed with her frail little daughter, the emotions came out. And in that moment, I knew that she was such a special friend. Unfortunately, within a few days, her husband returned home and Alicia passed away. And 4 months later, I lost my own mom. 2005 was such a sad year for me, but really the start of such a beautiful friendship. I remember one day after my mom passed away, stopping in at Mariette's house and sitting on her torn, tattered sofa, as we frequently did, and I was sharing how I was missing my mom that day, and how she said, "Isn't it funny how others, relatives, move on, and you're kind of left feeling alone?" But in that aloneness, we had each other. I was her person, and she was mine. Now fast forward to January of 2009. I was sitting in my Building 6 Springhouse office, and the phone rang. On the other end was my 38-year-old friend of 5 years telling me she had gone to the doctors that morning, and the doctors had already called with some test results. I knew this couldn't be good. And in that moment, I listened to her, and she shared to me that there were tumors, and they were almost certain it was cancer, ovarian cancer. I sat there in shock. I didn't know what to say. I knew from my sister, who was a 3-time breast cancer survivor, that saying things is going to be okay is not really the thing to say. So I sat there and listened. And pretty soon I kicked into what I do best. What's our plan? What's our plan of attack? How are we going to fight this thing? And for the next 4.5 years, that's exactly what we did. Now fast forward, it's June of 2013, and I'm here in a Collegeville office. My phone rings again. It's Mariette. She's catching me up on things that are going on with her family, making it about me. How was my morning? How was my eye doctor appointment? How was my dad feeling? And oh, by the way, she was not feeling well that morning, went to the doctors, and now she was on hospice. Hospice. The word rung through my ears. I knew what this meant, but she remained as positive as ever. Within 2 months, she was mostly bedridden, and I checked in on her daily to catch her up on the events of the day. I knew I was going to lose her, but the question was when. I never could have prepared myself for that last day. We rotated by her side, her family and I, and it was my turn, and her middle daughter, Marguerite, joined me. And in looking at this young girl who was about to lose her mother, I pulled out a letter that I had written to Mariette about why she was such an extraordinary friend. And I wanted to share that with Marguerite. I shared with her the things that I loved most about her mother. the way she always had a positive attitude, the way she was such a great listener. She never judged me. She was just so easy to be with and showed warmth and kindness to everyone. And as I finished up that letter, Mariette's breath began to change, and I asked Marguerite if she noticed, and she did. I asked her to go gather up the rest of the family to join us. And within moments, my friend passed away with all of her loved ones around her. The next days, weeks, and months were a struggle for myself and her family. They were tough. And I even recall one day writing an email to my boss, telling him that I was really struggling and having trouble focusing. And he wrote back to me, telling me not to worry, that he knew that I would get through this and to take the time that I needed. And for some reason, him saying that just allowed me to feel my grief, which at that moment washed over me. I really didn't know if I would ever get over this because I had lost my best friend. But in that moment of aloneness, I thought about her, and I thought about what she would want me to do. She spent her whole life caring for others, and she would want me to do the same. She tackled everything with a positive attitude, and she believed that there was nothing that I couldn't do. So in the next days, I made some calls and put into motion an ovarian cancer walk in honor of her. And for me, there has been no better way to honor my friend and to show our daughters the meaning of true friendship and to show them that doing good for others is really a great feeling. So just this past Sunday, we held our 5th annual ovarian cancer walk to honor Mariette's life. To date, we raised over $30,000 for ovarian cancer family support, research, and awareness. Mariette would be so proud. She never let cancer define her, and she always found the good in everything. And for me, this has shown that even in our most grief-struck times, we really can dig deep and make a difference. Thank you.